Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? This is Kyle and Mike from the Fantasy Phenom. We are back breaking down today's 11 game slate.
What's going on? Happy Friday.
Good to
I
have it.
hope I
Thank
hope the weather wherever you all are is much better than the weather I'm having here on this Friday. But beautiful 11 game slate for us to talk about today, Kyle.
Dude, a
The
lot
last day of March. Baseball is
upon
more
us.
than on deck. They are jumping in the batting circle, man.
I cannot wait for baseball. That is for damn sure. Hold on. Why are none of the games? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why did none of the
So
games?
I'll just do a little brief recap while Kyle's doing that of yesterday. Interesting day yesterday. I know I talked about how it wasn't really a slate to fade games, but I sure as hell hope you faded that Brooklyn Detroit game. That was just awful to watch. I think the game was like 35-36 at halftime. Andre Drummond had one shot, which he did not make in the entire game. Strange game for sure. The only really guy that did anything was Marcus Morris off Detroit, and maybe some ish he got there. It's a weird slate for sure. Ricky Rubio, I talked about Karl-Anthony Towns a couple weeks back about how improved he's been, but Ricky Rubio
Dude, 50 points.
not getting enough credit for how improved he's been this season. I think he needs to be in the talks for most improved player of the year. I think Giannis will probably get it, but still. He's having himself a great season. I think that was a career high in scoring, 33 points. He led all scorers on yesterday's slate. So, and then Cleveland, I don't know what's going on with that team right now.
That is a mess.
They lost to the Bulls in Chicago on national TV.
LeBron has his worst career winning percentage in United Airlines Arena. Fun fact.
Interesting.
That was easy
That is a fun
money.
fact.
Easy money betting on that game yesterday. My boy, he hits me up all the time. He doesn't watch basketball at all. He's just like, yo, you got any bets for me? I was like, Bulls plus six and
Did
a
you bet the
half.
under?
Yep. No, I took the
Oh,
Bulls.
yeah.
Bulls plus six. Easy money, man.
Yeah, you could have bet the under in that game too. Yep.
Matt,
So Cleveland on a back-to-back today, playing at home against Philly.
the other one is
Don't
Portland, man. What about Portland last night?
showing up. That's for damn sure. They are a team to reckon with. Whoever's gets Portland, if they make it.
It's gonna be. I
I
think
feel like this happens a lot. I feel like last couple years this has happened with Portland. They've come into the playoffs hot.
it's gonna be them and Golden State. That's gonna be a fun series. I don't think that Portland stands a chance, but it'll still be fun. I'll be rooting for Portland because I can't stand Golden State. But that's
Yeah, they don't just generally play the Warriors well.
no, not at all. Dame usually struggles versus them too. But then again, Dame is on a different level right now, so that'll be interesting.
I think Booker was a bit of an X factor on yesterday's slate, being that news came out late and he dropped 50 DraftKings points.
3% owned in GPPs.
Yep, that was the spot if you took that chance.
Actually, no, we're gonna do this a little different. We're gonna do it by point guard, but by salary or by position by salary. I think that'll help kind of see who's around who in terms of price.
Yeah, and that's what people look at anyway when they're looking at the sites. So
Exactly. All right, so something that immediately stands out: Kemba Walker, DVP. Right? If you're a DVP fan, you look at Kemba Walker.
got to, yeah. I mean, he's been up and down of late. It's not like he's coming in here super hot. Struggled against Toronto, but you look at what he's done against Denver over the course. I guess that was one game against Denver, but he had 27, 4-4 for 45 DraftKings points. Pretty solid performance. I think you can go there. Cash tournaments, I wouldn't mind either.
Yep. Have I seen the playoff slate on FanDuel? Yes, I have. That is an interesting slate to say the least. FanDuel has already come out and said, by the way, they're going to do some crazy stuff for baseball. So they're going to have like a new challenge every week for baseball. So they're going to try and change things up. I don't know. Be interesting.
Make it creative, I guess.
Yeah. Most improved fantasy player for sure for Rubio. Definitely.
Fantasy player, yeah. No, yeah. If you drafted him late in season long, or Dynasty even, I don't see why he'd be available in Dynasty, but still.
Looking good. Um, to play or not to play Russell Westbrook. 3 triple doubles away from tying the record. I think he could break. I think he's going to break the record. Um, he's at home. I believe he did well and hit value last time versus Spurs in San Antonio.
He's averaging 62 on the season in the 2 games that they've played. Yeah, I mean, you're just kind of playing the fact that he wants this record more than probably anything he's ever wanted in his whole life. He is a robot on a mission. Someone has programmed this robot to succeed in a mission, or else he will be reprogrammed.
It's almost like if he does not get a triple double, the team doesn't win. Like there was a stat, I don't have the actual number and record, but I saw a stat, and if he doesn't get a triple double, the team almost loses every time. So that just shows you how big of a piece. I mean, we all knew how big of a piece he was, but he legitimately has to go off if the team wants any chance to win.
Do you think if Russell Westbrook played running back in the NFL, he would be better than Brian Westbrook?
I think Russell Westbrook would be out of the league in a few years with how reckless he is. I think he would. I think he would destroy his body. He would take too many hits.
So he'd be the AP.
Not even AP. I mean, well, yeah, AP is definitely falling, but I think someone like LeBron would do really well in the NFL. I'm gonna get some hate for that right now. Watch this.
I think LeBron. I mean, he's huge, yeah, but if you look at like comparatively the size of NFL players, I think Russell Westbrook fits in pretty nice. Put some pads on him. I wouldn't want to get in front of that dude.
No, you definitely don't want to get in front of him. So 2 best DVPs on the slate, Mike, is Isaiah Thomas and Kemba Walker. Kemba's 76, Isaiah's 85. Still under 9K. He went out, hit 6x value last time. You got Steph Curry right behind them at 59.4 is the DraftKings DVP given up by Houston, so they've been struggling versus point guards. Steph had a good game. He hit value against Houston in Houston. Now they're in Golden State, and we always talk about how much we love Golden State at home, right? Clay and Steph, they're the real deal at home.
Yep, and those two definitely did well a couple of games ago against Houston. So they definitely have to be in consideration. Steph's price is up $700 from last game, but I think it's still fair. But I do like the fact that Kemba and Isaiah Thomas are the same price on DraftKings. I think
that'll help.
That helps
ownership, yeah.
Some ownership, yeah. But you can go both if you wanted to. Today, again, we just saw what Russell Westbrook did to Orlando. Just tore them apart.
Orlando gives up big games, man. Someone always. Who do I lean out of those two?
Yeah.
Man, probably Isaiah.
I think I'm going to go Isaiah as well.
I think Isaiah's safer. I think Kemba's probably a better GPP play. I think Isaiah will be higher. If you're looking on DraftKings, I think Isaiah's higher owned. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm curious. I think people will probably go look at game logs and go toward Isaiah because Kemba's got a couple games under 30 in the past 10. And I think you can say the same thing about Isaiah, but
yeah,
I don't know. He just has been more trustworthy as the season's has gone along.
That's why
he actually doesn't have any. He doesn't have any games under 30 in the last 10. So yeah, people are gonna look at that and go him in cash.
Do you look at Mike Conley again? So Gasol's out, JaMychal Green's out. Obviously, that's gonna be. I mean, he just put up 55 on Indiana. Was it Indiana?
It was.
Yeah.
And the game before that, he torched the Kings.
Yeah.
So big minutes for Conley. It's going to continue. His price only went up $100 after a 60-point game against Indiana. I think he's the same price as these two guys as well. So I think he'll probably get the least amount of ownership out of the three. given the matchup. So
The
I
other
like
one,
that in tournaments.
the other one is Kyrie right there at 82 on DraftKings.
True. Yep. So you got 4 guys.
Who do you think's lower owned between Kyrie and Conley?
I still think Conley goes lower owned.
I agree with you.
I know Kyrie's been kind of
Although
not playing well,
Kyrie just
but
burned
people
some
still like
people,
to
yeah.
play him. Yeah, people still like to play him, man.
Upside, always upside with him. Drew Holiday against Sack. I don't think I looked there with Boogie and AD both in line for big games. You can definitely look at Elf. I think I look at Elf more on FanDuel 7100. Right. I think I just pay up to one of the guys we just talked about with him at 74 on DraftKings.
Yeah, it's a little much. Also, one thing I want to touch on. I don't know why I've never said this, but don't ever look at the numbers on DraftKings next to these guys. I don't know where they get that number from, but it does not reflect pure defense versus position as far as fantasy points allowed. That is not what that number is. I don't even quite know exactly what that number is. I think it has to do with like the team's points allowed to point guards or something, like actual points. So if you are living and dying by that and losing money,
It's the reason.
don't do it anymore.
Don't do it anymore.
Like it has James Harden listed as the best in the best matchup for shooting guards, and
it's not true.
That's not true.
Jeff Teague's a hard fade for me today.
Yeah, he's been a hard fade for me for like the past 2 weeks, man.
Not only is he just not consistent and or playing up to his potential, Corey Joseph, by no means is he a great defender, but the only reason he's even in this league anymore is his defense. So.
And last game they gave Aaron Brooks like more minutes than Teague. I don't know what the hell was that about.
There was a lot of blowout.
I didn't watch
in
that game.
That game was a 20-point game most of the game. They were
Okay.
They were playing from behind almost the entire time. I don't think they ever led in the game actually. So that has something to do with it.
Amazing to me that they're a playoff team.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, that speaks to Paul George, and we'll get there. But Derrick Rose, game time decision. George Hill out. Tyler Johnson. So these teams just played each other literally last game that they played. Just reversing venues now in Miami. Tyler Johnson, always a tournament play. Malcolm Brogdon against Detroit, tournament play, but 5,900 on FanDuel, that's an easy fade for me.
For Brogdon?
Yeah. 6K for Brogdon, I'm good.
Yeah. No thanks.
Not
against Detroit.
Not against, with all these other options. TJ McConnell against Cleveland is something I'm looking at, though. Especially 5,600 on FanDuel. I don't know why you would pay 59 for Brogdon when you have McConnell at 56.
Yeah, TJ is locked into big minutes. He's in a good matchup. Although the Cavs have been limiting what point guards do as of recently. I don't know. I think that's kind of fluky, probably dependent on matchup based as well. But yeah, the fact that he's going to be playing big minutes today, and what I think is going to stay pretty close. I don't necessarily think this game blows out.
Brogdon is out. How did I miss that? Brogdon is out.
Interesting.
I didn't even see that, but good catch.
Let's see. Sore back. Yeah, he's been kind of dealing with that.
I didn't even see the news on that.
That will bring obviously Dellavedova will start. That will add some usage to Middleton and Giannis because Dellavedova is not a high usage guy. You probably see some extra minutes for Jason Terry at the shooting guard spot because they do run some
Beasley's back
Brogdon
tonight.
and Dellavedova.
Beasley's back.
Yeah,
tonight.
that too. Obviously, that was a long layoff for him for hyperextended left knee injury. So I don't know that you factor in big minutes for Beezy.
So out of these 4 guys here, you got TJ McConnell, Corey Joseph, who I like today against Teague. I like the reverse. Ish Smith, still 5,300 on FanDuel, going up against Milwaukee, who's been giving it up to point guards recently, last 10 and last 5. And then Darren Collison with no Ty Lawson against New Orleans. Where do you look out of those 4? Because I think one of them should be in your lineup.
I think Collison's the cheapest and the most interesting tournament play because of that price. I think, if he gets the minutes at 5K, he's extremely underpriced against New Orleans.
Mhm.
The problem is he going to get the minutes? It's been very up and down as of late. Trusting Sacramento has just been a fantasy no-no as of late.
The good thing is we have the news. Who's out? Kufis,
Right, but
Aflalo. Damn it, what's the other one? Lawson, and then there was someone else. I forget who else it was.
yeah, but tell that to the people that were high on Cauley Stein the game they brought Papagiannis out of the woodwork.
Yeah. No, for sure. But at least we have news, so there's that.
No, again, I think it's an intriguing tournament play because he's underpriced for his potential value if he gets minutes. Corey Joseph, Tyler Johnson, profile similar to me as cash plays that I'm not high on because I haven't really been playing much. I haven't building cash profile lineups as of late with the NBA. And McConnell, 6,200 is pretty steep for him.
For his upside.
I don't know that we've seen him get to 40 in a long time, but I said that about Gorgie Jang yesterday and made me look like a freaking idiot. So,
dude, with Corey Joseph, he's been playing really, really well as of late too. He's put up 2 6x games in a row.
Yeah, 2 in a row.
So something to look at. Reggie Jackson, I believe now. Of course I might get hammered for this. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen news that he's out.
They rested him. He's not injured, so they've been resting him. So I imagine they rested him one game of the back-to-back earlier in the week, and they rested him yesterday. So I imagine he'll play.
He's still dealing with that knee injury.
But is he though?
Well, yeah. I mean,
it's just one of those things.
That's what I'm saying. It's a game time decision. I don't know if we'll get that news before lock because it is a 5 p.m. start on the Best Coast. So we'll see about that.
We'll see. Yeah. Again, I think Darren Collison for $200 more. I feel if I'm going to play, an out there type of tournament play, it's probably not going to be Reggie Jackson. I'll let somebody else ride that train.
Yeah, not doing it. Then you got Pat Bev is the very last. Well, him and actually Jamal Murray or someone. I think Murray and Dellavedova pure punt plays. Right. Barton is probably not going to play today. Listed as doubtful.
Yeah, he's listed as doubtful.
So.
Right. If Barton's out, yeah, it brings Jamal Murray into 20-minute consideration in a good spot for him. And his price is below 4K on DraftKings, which is nice because we've seen him exceed that price tag on not on a regular basis, but from time to time, right?
Yep.
So in a good matchup, if Barton's out, increased playing time. Yeah, I think he could be a solid value at point guard today.
James Harden, fade again for me. I faded him last night. I don't believe he even came close to value, did he?
45 DraftKings points. Nope.
Yeah, not even close. So, I got that call right finally. However, I didn't even come close to cashing, so that was good. I destroyed my lineup before lock. That was fun. I had Dang, Mirotic, and Towns all in the same lineup. And then
again, negative matchup for Harden against Golden State, right? He put up 60 last game. This is a back-to-back.
Wrist injury. I'm telling you, man, that injury, he's not right with it, man.
Yep, it's a road back-to-back for Harden and not a plus matchup. So I think there's enough value. You can get his value from some of these other studs today, and we'll talk about them. He's just kind of the first one we got to, besides Westbrook.
Giannis is intriguing. He's coming back a lot in my projections in my models. So I don't know. I was leaning towards Giannis. Adding Brogdon out, I don't know if Giannis really picks up more usage. I think he has the most usage as there is.
Right.
But it is intriguing. He's 10-1. He's under 10 on DraftKings, 9-3. I think that's he's in the same price range as Boogie on DraftKings.
I think Giannis and Wall are both fades for me on this slate, just matchup based. This is an 11-game slate, so I don't think you have to really go there. Giannis plays in 3 games against Detroit this season. He hasn't scored 40, or he's averaging less than 40. And, I mean, we saw what that game was like yesterday. I mean, Milwaukee is one of the league lowest in pace. So is Detroit. I don't know. I just don't feel like paying to Giannis against Detroit.
That's fair.
Wall's a little bit more intriguing. I think they could potentially control the pace in this game. This game is intriguing as a whole,
The Washington-Utah?
Yeah, I think this Washington-Utah game as a whole is intriguing because I think both teams have are good enough teams to control the pace during spurts of the game, right? So Washington's becoming a very high-paced team as of late. Utah, obviously,
Yep.
their game plan is the opposite. If Utah controls the pace, I think you really got to look at some of those guys. If Washington does, I think they could be sneaky. I don't necessarily think you have to look at them, but they could be sneaky if you think Washington can get Utah up and down.
Beal is way down in price. Dropped $800. Clay at home. I love Clay at home today. I like.
Mm-hmm. So Beal or Clay? I know Beal, obviously, his price drops. Everybody's price drops against Utah and DraftKings.
I like Clay today. $100 more on DraftKings, $300 more on FanDuel. I don't see why I pay for Beal. I'd say Beal's probably the tournament play.
I agree. I think
the positions of target against Utah is going to be the backcourt, right? Wall and Beal. I'm not touching Porter, Oubre, Bogdanovich, none of that. I'm not touching Morris, and I'm definitely not touching Gortat or Mahimi. So,
yeah, I think again, if you think Washington controls this pace, they could be sneaky. I don't necessarily think they do. I think it kind of goes back and forth the whole game. So I'm fading that pretty much the entire game. I think you can maybe look at some guys on Utah, but it's a comfortable fade for me. And again, by fade, that doesn't mean I don't like them. It just means that you have to pick and choose, not playing players you like on an 11-game slate. Now, I think Beal could be in line for most improved player as well.
He stayed healthy. That's a huge thing.
That's true. I'm
telling you, dude, Beal was an injury-prone machine. He was up there with Anthony Davis, but he got rid of that.
He was.
Batum, I think, is in play as well against Denver. Everybody's always in play against Denver, and especially their backcourt, right? Shooting guards, Denver gives it up. Deion Waiters out. Bradley, you could look at him. I think his price is, I don't know. I just don't see consistent 30 points from Bradley, so I don't really like it. Will Barton's
the matchup is there.
It is there, 100%. GPP play. I don't view Bradley as a cash play. I just don't think he's safe for 30 points, especially not with IT's matchup. Gary Harris.
I don't mind going both, to be honest with you. I don't mind going both. I'd rather go IT and Bradley over Kemba and Batum. But you can also go Kemba and Bradley if you wanted to.
Yeah, you can do the reverse there. Marcus Smart. See, I'd rather pay for Marcus Smart at $4,900 on DraftKings. FanDuel, the price difference is only $300. Doesn't make sense. So I wouldn't do that. Evan Fournier. Man, I don't. If Aaron Gordon's out, which he is game time decision right now, who picks up usage? Fournier and Ross?
So just to go back to Smart, I think Smart's been playing well. 30 minutes, 3 straight games. I've been talking about how these playoff teams are trying to solidify their rotations a bit, and he is the obvious sixth man, getting 30 minutes on this game and in a good spot. Also, if this game decides to separate itself, he could be a smart play. No pun intended. The next guy I talked about was Fournier. If I'm going anywhere off of Orlando, I think I'm going to target the front court. Finally got us 40-point game against OKC, but that was
overtime.
That was a big game. He took let's see, he took 22 shots that game, which is very uncharacteristic.
Mm-hmm. My number one shooting guard is Avery Bradley. Interesting.
No, I don't mind that call. Again, if you're playing matchups, you're looking at what shooting guards have done to Orlando recently.
They torched him, except Oladipo.
Yeah, well, he had Westbrook on the team taking 50 shots. So.
Do you look at Oladipo today?
You can. I think
his price has dropped. He's still, I don't know, it's 58, 56. It's a little high for where I'd want to go.
So there's a 5-game slate on DraftKings today. A 5-game, mini slate.
And
for those of you that have been burned by late scratches, don't want to really mess with anything like that, there's an 8 o'clock 5-game slate where you'll get all the news prior to that, and I think could be a smart way to spend some money today. It's something I'm considering. And in that sense, I think this San Antonio OKC on that 5-game slate really does stand out. Um,
I think
Also, the
Westbrook's.
Sacramento New Orleans game, but
I think Westbrook's a must play on that slate. I think you can fade him because of all the other options on the main.
yeah, either way, I'm going to try and start my lineups with him on the main.
Buddy Hield going back to New Orleans in play. I like him, especially with all the resting going on. And he's going to get Drew Holiday defense.
But he healed, yep.
So in play,
Going back to New Orleans.
Garrett Temple's price climbing a little bit. I can look there. Wes
Who?
Matt. Garrett Temple. Punt play.
Yeah.
Punt play. Wes Matthews against against Memphis. I don't think I look there. Josh Richardson. Richardson. You can look there. I go back to Nick Stauskas, man. 3,800 against Cleveland.
Yep. Sauce, TLC, and Justin Anderson, I think, all hit value last game. Don't think you can do that again. I don't think that they're going to hit value again. I think you got to pick one. Obviously, with Covington out, you're going to get a start from Justin Anderson. And if you look at this matchup, I think the shooting guard spot is going to benefit the most.
And see, and here's the reason I like Stauskas out of anyone that you mentioned. One, I don't like Anderson because when he starts, he's going to start, so he's going to get the least amount of usage of the three.
And he's playing LeBron.
Yep. Nick Stauskas is not only going up against the second team shooting guards, right? He's also going to get, the shooting guards, but he'll also handle the ball as backup point guard. So
Right.
both positions that we like targeting against Cleveland, point guard and shooting guard, and Nick Stauskas is going to do both today. So he is my favorite punt play on FanDuel at 3,800.
See, at 46, it's just, you look at Nick Stauskas at 46. If you haven't been keeping up with what's been going on, you look at that and you're like, hell no, right?
Yep.
That is way too much money for Nick Stauskas. But like you said, being that he handles the ball on the second team in those, he probably plays, 8 to 10 backup point guard minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen a correlation in assists rise. So that's a stat that he hasn't really contributed in at all this season because it's not his role. His role is to get open and shoot mid-range 3-pointers, just kind of move and spread the floor. But once he's got the ball in his hands, I think you get some more assists that helps, especially on DraftKings.
I'm telling you, man, I love playing guys that have the ball in their hand, right? Anytime a guy, for fantasy purposes, touches the ball, there's an opportunity for points. And so that's why I'm on Stauskas. Rodney Hood is another one. I like Rodney Hood again today, 4K against Bradley Beal. Shooting guards have just been torching Washington. J.J. Redick just did it, and that was based on points alone. He did nothing else. Rodney Hood can shoot threes just as well, so I like Rodney Hood.
Do you like him more than Nick Stauskas?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know that I'm sold on Rodney Hood yet. Maybe I need another game. Maybe I need to check myself. I don't know.
Well, the problem with Rodney Hood is on DraftKings he's 5K.
Still, I mean, if you look at what he's been doing, it's a fair price. But still, I don't necessarily believe it to continue.
Yeah, but how about 4K on FanDuel?
4K, yeah, that's definitely.
That's what I'm saying.
Way too cheap.
That's what I'm saying. So, LeBron James against Philly.
No Covington.
Yeah.
There's no Covington. Him against Justin Anderson seems like a smash matchup. I don't know what they do to try and guard him today.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I think I go LeBron over Kyrie today. Kawhi at 94. I don't think I look there. I'd find a way to pay it for LeBron if I wanted to do that. Paul George at 8K on DraftKings. Doable. I was having this talk in Slack earlier with Mike, one of the Mikes in the group. Paul George at 8,900. Personally, that price is way too high for me. But when I evaluate Paul George, and I seem to get him right more than not, so I think I'm going to fade him today. I originally had him in a lineup only because I considered this. Who is around Paul George that is in a position today? I mentioned I don't like Jeff Teague today. Monte Ellis against DeRozan. If they even use DeRozan on him, they might put DeRozan. No, I don't. Yeah, because they'll leave Carroll or Tucker on Paul George. You got Ibaka on Thad Young. That's a no for me. And then you got Valanciunas and Turner. So the only two guys I even look at in this game are Paul George and Turner. And I feel like Paul George will win that in terms of, being the default option. I think he comes close to value today. I think he gets 40 points. But I don't want to pay 9K for 40 points.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable about it. I don't necessarily think he's definitely not going to hit value. I mean, he definitely can come close. He comes damn near close every game, it seems like.
Yeah.
If he doesn't make it there, at least he's got a solid floor recently. So he saves you in that sense if you want to profile him as cash. But I don't know if I feel so comfortable that I can go there to say that he's a cash play. But if you look at small forward today, it's kind of the position to take a chance. I don't know. I just don't love anybody. That's why I think LeBron's going to get a good amount of ownership because there's really nothing really to pay up to today. And then you look, there's definitely a lot in the mid range that you can like, but nothing to really love. So,
Melo, Melo's done, man. Melo could care less about anything that happens this year. Don't play Melo.
can you blame the man?
No, Melo's a businessman. He got paid and he doesn't care. He hasn't cared since he got paid. Let's be honest.
That's not true.
It is so
That is
true.
not true.
It is so true. When has Melo cared about anyone but his stats?
That is not true.
That is 100% true. Melo's a businessman.
I do
He got
not
paid.
blame him for giving up this season. I would feel the same way as him, man.
How
But
about-
he came to New York to win.
how
That's not. He didn't come to New York to get paid.
How about last year when he sat out the entire rest of the season, but he played in the All-Star game?
But that wasn't his choice
Yes, it was.
to sit out playing.
Yeah, he decided
No
to
way.
play in the All-Star game, but he wasn't feeling well to sit the rest of the year. I'm telling
But again, I'm sure he would have been out there if he could have.
you. I disagree, but we can debate that another day. Wilson Chandler's got to be in line for him and Gallo. Obviously, increased run with no Barton. Chris,
I don't know. I don't think so.
No?
I think they'll get theirs. If Plumlee was going to be out, I know he was listed as questionable last night. If he was going to be out, I was thinking perhaps you could look at these two guys, but they eat into each other. One will go off. One won't. Maybe they both barely hit value. It's tough. There's a reason they've been the same price all season long.
Mm-hmm. Chris Middleton, definitely against Detroit. That is a play that you can do. I think.
Yeah, I like that.
Jay Crowder against Orlando. So DVP will tell you that's not a good matchup. I'm looking at it from who's going to guard him. Terrence Ross?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you can go both sides of this. Crowder's been playing pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
I don't have stats in front of me, but just been watching him play. He's been playing pretty well as of late. 6K. I think I'd rather play Chris Middleton for $100 more against Detroit. I think that's my favorite play off of Milwaukee today. And I like a lot of other plays on Boston other than Crowder. And for that reason, I don't know that he's going to be the guy that they rely upon today.
See, I like Crowder today. I do. Have him in a line.
But we can't like Smart, Bradley, Crowder. We can't like Smart, Bradley, Isaiah Thomas,
and Crowder.
Al Horford, Crowder. So if you like the other guys, you got to pick and choose
See, I went.
because they're not all going to get theirs.
See, I like Crowder over Bradley today. I don't know why.
I mean, you can get behind it the same price on DraftKings, so it's a solid pivot.
Trevor Ariza, I do like that against Golden State. He's the one play from Houston that I actually like in this game.
Ariza for Threeza. That's another reference to shout out to those PA announcers.
This guy, Mike knows the PA announcers better than he knows the players.
I watch too much basketball. Let's put it that way. Price is up on Ariza, obviously. 5,900 he was 5K like this week. Pretty sure on Monday.
Yeah, he's getting run. He's power forward. He's got some good matchups.
Yeah, he's been playing well as a power forward. So as long as that continues, I think you can ride him.
Terrence Ross, I mentioned that. I do like that matchup. Terrence Ross has been hitting value, and his price is still at 4,400.
I don't get how has it not changed?
It hasn't climbed at all.
Since the trade, his price has been there on FanDuel.
Yep, has
every
not changed.
day.
Has not changed. The most it's gone from 43 up to 45 or 46 is the most I've seen it at. And he's at value in what, 4 straight games?
T. Ross has the magic in him, man.
Lol. Roberson against San
Antonio. I don't know
Antonio.
how much I love it though.
Roberson against San Antonio. Not too high on that. Joe Johnson.
Yeah,
Joe Johnson is someone I can look at. Markieff Morris is a guy I target in terms of bad defense, but Joe Johnson, 4,100, 45, that might be a little too high. Vince Carter is in play. He's been getting minutes and run. Tony Snell is a punt play, Mike, with no Brogdon.
Tony Snell is reigniting his career.
He's still terrible.
He went from like a fantasy pariah to like people bowing to him.
They actually consider him when building
in
lineups,
like less than a month. Yeah. How this happened, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Joe Johnson. They're reluctant to play him. He pretty much splits power forward with Boris Diaw at this point. You know, there's been a couple games where he gets 30 minutes, but like it's not enough for me to just rely upon game in, game out when he's in a good matchup, I think. I'd rather find some upside somewhere, you know?
Yep.
Now, we didn't talk. Are we moving on to power forward? Because we didn't talk about Kuzminskis. I think Melo is listed as questionable today.
Yeah, I haven't got down to that price yet. But yeah, Kuzminskis in play. Oubre. Who's been, I can't believe, I never thought I'd see the day where you look at Oubre, but Oubre's in play. Kuzminskis is minimum sat. Wow, he's 4,700 on DraftKings, Mike.
Who? Mindaugas Kuzminskis?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money for the man. That is a lot of money.
3,500 on FanDuel I can do.
Did we decide on what his name would be? No, we never did.
No, we didn't.
3,300 for Oubre.
Yeah.
3 straight over 20.
Bogdanovich, I think, is falling out of this rotation with Jason Smith and Oubre playing well. Maybe they're just resting him for playoffs, but
no, I think he's hurt.
He does have the bad back. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe resting for playoffs, but Oubre's been getting run, putting up points.
Not a fan of Oubre against Utah. Just going to throw that out there.
You could have just said not a fan of Oubre, and the people would have known.
Yep. Nope. Not calling the Uber.
Shit. Anthony Davis or Jokic? Which one do you go with? I think Jokic is too cheap on DraftKings, 9,100.
Yeah, so I think throw LeBron in there. Throw LeBron and Boogie in there.
Oh,
how would you rank those guys?
Boogie 1, LeBron 2. Just looking at some of the comments. Do we like anyone on Memphis tonight? Vince Carter.
I think you got to look at some. There's going to be some value in the front court. Michael Green and Marc Gasol both out. So we'll get there when we get to the front court, but there's definitely some value in there.
Zach Randolph's still 5,600 on FanDuel. But yeah, so I go Boogie, Jokic, Davis, LeBron.
Boogie, Jokic, Davis, LeBron.
Yep. I think Boogie is too cheap at 9,600 on both sites.
I'm going to go Jokic, number 1 at 9,100.
Yep.
Going up against Charlotte. Dropped 50 on them last time. Charlotte's just been kind of one of those teams to target the front court.
Oh, absolutely.
I like LeBron next. I know this is a back-to-back, so there's going to be some concerns, but again, I think 10K is too cheap for LeBron as well for his potential upside. And I'm playing tournaments, so when I'm looking at studs, I'm looking at potential upside based on, the price. And I don't really know who guards LeBron. He's averaging 62 against Philly in 2 games this season. And then I think I go Boogie over Davis just because of the whole revenge thing. Boogie's an emotional player, and his price is cheaper.
Draymond against Houston, Good matchup
Yeah.
again. Man, it's really hard for me to pay 8K for Draymond. Really is.
Draymond or Saric?
You know what? I fade both. I go Jokic.
Well, yeah, I mean, so for DraftKings purposes, Jokic is a center. So we're looking at power
Oh, okay,
forward
okay.
here. If I had to pick between Draymond and Saric, it's close because Draymond has shown that he plays well against this Houston style team. He's done it every game this season. Um,
So I'm
he's kind
gonna.
of like a safe bet for 40, in my opinion. Granted that this game stays pretty close,
See,
but Saric without Covington,
I just don't see Draymond as a safe lock for 40. See, I'm gonna go down here, and I'm gonna tell you two guys that I like instead of both of them, and that's LaMarcus Aldridge and James Johnson.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think both Saric and Draymond are for the better fantasy players. I think Saric going up against Cleveland, being that there's no Covington, he is their guy for usage. He's going to play 40 minutes, and he's in a good spot. So that's why I like Saric. We've seen what he can do when he goes off. Give me your takes on those two guys.
I go Sarge over Green.
I meant Aldridge and
Oh, Aldridge and James Johnson. I love
J-
Aldridge against OKC. They can't guard power forwards to save their life. And then James Johnson against New York. I mean, matchup speaks for itself there. He just put up 40 points, I believe, against New York. So,
Yeah, I guess where I'm looking is more the game, right? So I think the Philly Cleveland game and the Houston Golden State game are just going to allow for an increased floor for all players, no matter what, right?
mm-hmm.
Whereas James Johnson and LaMarcus Aldridge somewhere are going to have to rely upon poor performances from teammates to be the guy.
Randolph and Johnson. I can see those as well. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Randolph's power forward eligible. Um, yeah,
Someone asked.
he somewhat disappointed in a good matchup against Indiana.
No, well, yeah. Again, that game was blown out, so I don't think he didn't play much.
Mm-hmm.
He
Right.
didn't have to. I believe it was a back to back as well.
Mm-hmm.
Someone asked, why do I like Vince Carter tonight? And Vince Carter has gotten 33, 28, 34, 25, 34, 30 minutes over the last 5 games. At his price tag, he was about 3.6. He hit value. He had 30 points last game. He didn't hit it the game before against Sacramento. He hit it against Golden State. Didn't hit it against San Antonio and hit it against New Orleans, and then hit it against San Antonio the game before that. So Vince Carter's
Yeah.
pure punt. He's not a cash play, but he's GPP to me.
The Memphis Grizzlies have a short rotation, guys. All these guys are getting big minutes. You're going to see big minutes from Ennis. You're going to see big minutes from Carter. I think Brendan Wright is going to be chalky value today. You're going to see big minutes from Conley.
Yep.
You know, we're going to see bigger than expected minutes from Zebo. You're going to see run for Harrison. I think Harrison is questionable as well. Let me look that up. Memphis. Yeah, Andrew Harrison is questionable as well. So you're looking at minutes for Troy Daniels or Tony Douglas. They just have a short rotation. And for that reason, there's value. Minutes equal value. I don't think this is a great matchup against Dallas.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a great fantasy matchup. But again, if you're looking at this 5-game, 8 o'clock slate, definitely be some value to come out of that game.
We got Ennis Cantor, who I love today, especially on DraftKings, 4,800. That's crazy. He averages 23 minutes against San Antonio. So give me Ennis Cantor. You know what he can put up in 20 minutes.
Cantor, Love.
Yep, give me Cantor against San Antonio. Gladly take that.
What's his price on DraftKings?
48, that's what I'm saying. So you got Zach Randolph at
Goodness.
67 and Cantor at 48. I don't know how you don't take Cantor. Although Cantor's only center. Sorry. So that.
Yeah.
But still, you can play two centers, and I don't know why you wouldn't play Cantor. Aaron Gordon's questionable. I like him if he plays. I don't like Thad Young. I do like Scal. I believe he's in line for a start with the Kufis resting news. Ryan Anderson.
Scal over Cantor?
No. Definitely not.
Yeah, so with Scal could get some extra run today, obviously. There's no Anthony Tolliver, who plays some power forward for them. There's no Costa Kufis.
Yep.
So, yeah, they'll run a limited rotation. He'll be a part of it. To what extent, I don't know, but we've seen he's got some pretty decent upside. 30 minutes last game against Utah in return value. So,
some punt plays for you?
Not a good spot. Not a bad spot.
David West, 4K on FanDuel. I don't like it, but 3K on DraftKings. Minimum salary in play. Taj Gibson is questionable. He missed shoot around with an illness, so watch out for that. That would leave increased run, I'd imagine, for Cantor. Montrezl Harrell, Nene is out today. It's his rest day, which puts Harrell in play. He's minimum salary on DraftKings again, 3K. Channing Frye, way too expensive on DraftKings at 44, but 37 on FanDuel against Philly front court in play. And then...
Yeah, it's weird that Harrell's not power forward eligible. It'd make him much better value. For that reason, that's why I feel like Brendan Wright is going to be chalky today. He's power forward and center eligible.
Standpoint, yeah.
Terrence
Jones is finally down to minimum salary. I don't know why he was at 5K for so long.
Yeah, that was weird.
So those are value plays. We mentioned centers. Boogie or Tristan Thompson. I can't believe I'm comparing the two, but we talk about we talk about targeting centers, right? Against Philadelphia. I think Tristan Thompson.
I don't think you can compare the two, honestly. It's all based on lineup construction there. It's like a 4K difference.
5K. But
yeah,
Tristan Thompson, I think, is in line for probably 16, 17
right,
rebounds today.
But I think you compare him to like Jonas Valanciunas against Indiana, not Boogie.
Yeah.
Both those guys are in good spots, and they've been kind of hard to roster all year, but they've shown that they can go off. So I think that's a good comparison. I think Nerlens Noel, man. I think he's going to be sneaky again. Obviously underperformed last game against New Orleans, but he's shown that he can go off, and they're going to need his size, I think, today.
Gobert against Washington, a good matchup.
Gobert's in play. Whiteside, I think, is the prime discussion with that one. It's like Vooch, Whiteside, or Gobert. All three of those guys, I think, are in play today. And then Jokic and Cousins on DraftKings is the big one. I'm going to go Jokic.
I love Jokic today. And he's center eligible on DraftKings, so obviously, yeah, give me Jokic. Drummond against Milwaukee is in play. Al Horford, I think, is a good matchup as well. Against Orlando, obviously against Vooch. I think Al Horford can get 35. Everyone, that again, so you mentioned everyone's in play against Orlando, so who do you pick, right? Because not everyone is going to get this.
Right. Exactly. Also, I think whoever plays power forward, the most power forward minutes.
Yep.
So, we get any news about whether or not Olynyk's will be wearing a man bun, may be able to go there. Got a couple of retweets from that one.
I'll tweet out the Celtics beat writer and see if he gets back to me, if he can let me know what the hair situation is.
We should definitely make a trend of that.
Tristan Thompson, as I mentioned, absolutely in play. Jonas Valanciunas, even. I think we talked about.
What that?
Yeah, so that.
Him or Thompson? Who are you going?
I go Thompson. Safer minutes.
Yep, same. What about? I think you can throw Greg Monroe in there, even going up against his former team. He's played well against Detroit this season. 3 games, averaging 35 points over those 3. Detroit's on a back-to-back. I think 5,300 is pretty cheap for him. Looking at upside. So yeah, out of Vooch, Gobert, and Whiteside, who's your favorite?
Gobert.
Yeah.
Dude,
I agree with you.
Cortada's creeping down to minimum salary. This is crazy.
All of these Washington guys are, man. Look at Porter's price. Look at Markieff Morris's price, too. All 3 of those prices have dropped considerably in the past month since their new additions.
Brooks came
and
out.
with Mahinmi and Smith back.
Brooks came out and literally just said, Gortat needs to play better. Like, there was no sugarcoating it, no nothing. Just, he needs to play better. So,
I'll fire up the hammer. He's
Mahimi.
definitely one of those guys you do that with, though.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Mahimi might be an interesting play. He's down at 3,100 on DraftKings, pretty much minimum salary.
Yeah,
Three
definitely.
duds in a row.
Punt play. Zaza is a punt play. Deadman is a potential punt play. You mentioned
Talk about Harrell.
Georgie's Papagiannis is in play with no Kufis. That is a punt.
Papa John's.
Yeah, Papa John's.
Somebody ordering Papa John's tonight.
What about Jokic Portal?
Jakob Podol.
Jakob Podol, I'm sorry.
Jakob Portals. Yeah, what about him, man? I don't know.
I mean,
Where are you going with that?
punt.
I guess
punt against
he's their
Indiana.
backup center,
Yeah.
perhaps.
I'm digging deep here. So
Sean Long.
No, I'm not playing long. I can't. No, dude fouls way too much. Not doing it.
He was fantasy relevant for one game. That was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had that 30 points. Cousins or Gobert on FanDuel. Cousins. If I have the option to play Cousins, I'm playing Cousins. Cousins. Jeffrey says too much value. Everyone's a lock.
Well, let's break it down. I'm trying to break it down. Like I said, I like Gobert at a Gobert, Whiteside, and Vooch in that price range. We talked about the mid range that we like Tristan Thompson over Valanciunas, and I don't know. Greg Monroe to me can't really be explained or compared. He's just kind of one of those guys you like take a chance on. But I think it could be one of those days to do so. And then the cheap guys value. I think the guys I lean on is probably Montrezl Harrell. Minimum salary, Brendan Wright, again, will be chalky, I think, at 34. Again, I don't know. I don't watch anybody else, really.
Someone asked, what about Cody Zeller? Yes, Cody Zeller. Punt plays. Well, not punt play. I mean, he's in there.
The problem with Zeller is that he's the same price as Tristan Thompson, so that maybe that's a tournament play. People be all on Tristan Thompson and not having any Cody Zeller. It could be like one of those easy pivots.
All right, let's do this.
You got Cantor at 48.
Favorite top dollar point guard and low dollar point guard. I'm gonna go low dollar under 5.5, and I'm gonna say Corey Joseph. And top dollar is, I mean, you have to say Russell Westbrook, but I'm gonna say John Wall to be contrarian.
Interesting. I'll go Marcus Smart under 5. I'll go Kemba over 5. Or is that what we're doing? Over 5?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do this little. So we didn't do this last show, but I'm gonna give you guys my locks. Brandon Wright definitely in play. Yep. Anthony says Steph. Yep. Steph is definitely in play again at home.
Yep. That was the other guy I was thinking about saying.
So I'm gonna lock in front court because that's where I started all my lineups, and then I'm gonna lock in Rodney Hood as well at 4K.
If you guys are new to watching this, Kyle right now is using our spreadsheet that we send out to our subscribers. If you want a free 7-day trial, check it out. Toward the end of the season, this is what we do. We kind of you're able to lock and fade players similar to the other optimizers, and it uses our projection model to create a lineup.
Cantor a cash game option? Yes.
I don't know. I think I would prefer to go Tristan Thompson.
On DraftKings,
only $200 more
at 4,800. And you know what? I'm gonna lock. No, Corey Joseph. Where's Corey Joseph at? So I have Boogie, Cantor, Jokic, Hood, and Corey Joseph locked, and I'm gonna run this projection or the optimizer and see what it spits back for me. So we'll see what it fills in for the other 4 plays. And this is exactly how I use this, and this is exactly how I would advise you guys to use it, along with where's the fuck is Corey Joseph? Oh, he's shooting guard down here. Exactly how I advise you guys to use it as well. Ah, damn it! I hit fade on all those guys. Not.
Yeah, Kyle knows exactly what he's doing with this. It's all good.
We're good. All right, so If you guys have stuck around like this, Kyle, haven't seen you do this before. Yeah, so it's something new. We've been doing at the end of shows. And again, I guess I got to give this disclaimer. The lineups that you see that it spits back, I'm not selling these. I'm not giving them out. I'm just showing you how to use the machine and kind of some ideas of where to look and what the projections say. So this spits back. Damn, dude, it went Paul George. So, and okay, so Terrence Ross, I had Terrence Ross. I like that. So Kemba Walker, Corey Joseph, Lou Williams against Golden State. I guess I can see that. Rodney Hood, Paul George, Terrence Ross, Jokic, Cantor, and Cousins. And remember, my locks were Cousins, Cantor, Jokic, Hood, and Joseph. So, let's see what 2 does. So I have Paul George projected at 39 points for what it's worth. So I mentioned I think he gets to 40 today. It's right around there. I have a ceiling at 51 though. So when you talk about, potential upside at 9K, 45 is 5X, and I have a ceiling at 51. So Dave says play them.
I want to go next.
All right, you can do next. I like this. Dude, I'm telling you, this is exactly a lineup I made earlier minus Harrison Barnes. Verbatim, Mike. Ish Smith, Corey Joseph, Rodney
I like Harrison Barnes today.
Yep, Ish Smith, Corey Joseph. I told you earlier, those were 2 point guards I had. Rodney Hood, Giannis, who I projected to hit value. I can see it for sure. Last question, Giannis, Antetokounmpo, and Gobert, or IT and Cousins? I go IT and Cousins, personally.
What? Sorry, what was it?
It's on
IT.
DraftKings too. Giannis and
The one without Giannis.
Okay. The one without Giannis. There you go. So Giannis, Ross, Barnes, Jokic, Cantor, and Cousins. And let's see what the third one is. And number 3, I don't know how much I like this one. I don't know if I like Gordon Hayward today. But Kemba Walker, Corey Joseph, Lou Williams, Rodney Hood, Gordon Hayward, Harrison Barnes, Jokic, Cantor, and Cousins.
Cha.
Give me a second, Mike. I gotta close out the DraftKings file. So that is that. Those are the lineups that I was able to get from using the lock feature. Where's the DraftKings sheet? There it is. Damn, we got 3 live shows going right now. I see it on the dashboard. You got Roto Grinders. You got Maurice doing his midday mix, and then us. By the way, if you guys appreciate the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, do that.
And
go ahead.
I was gonna say we're trying to make a conscious effort to kind of go on before those guys, so you guys can come in with us and check us out. Then kind of go over there, we understand how it is. So it just kind of happened today.
Yes.
That I had to come on a little bit later. So, but look forward to in the future. We'll be on a little bit. We'll be on normal time, right around 1 p.m. Eastern.
Anthony asks, why no Randolph? I like Randolph today. I do. I just like Cantor more. So.
So what I'm going to do with you, Kyle, is I'm going to give you my favorite 2 value plays and my favorite 2 studs, and then we'll go from there. We'll see what it builds.
All right, give them to me.
My favorite 2 studs are Jokic and LeBron.
Okay.
And my favorite 2 values are Brendan Wright and Jamal Murray.
Okay.
Give me a winner.
Jamal Murray. Where's he at? There he is. Bam.
Right now, he's probably in Charlotte.
I hate you. And Memphis, Brandon Wright. Where is he at?
Queen City.
There he is. 3,400. Has a nice projection, too.
Get me some.
All right. Jeffrey says, see us at 8 p.m. for that MLB draft. That's tomorrow, Jeff. Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's updated, so it's tomorrow. Check it out.
I don't like this, Mike. Oh.
Ian Clark, who's that guy?
Yeah, exactly.
John Henson's also not playing.
Yeah, that should have been a fade. So let's do it again. It went It went super value. It literally gave you 2 minimum salary guys with you.
I don't mind it. I could just pivot to other minimum salary guys like Montrezl Harrell.
Damn it, dude. Sergio shouldn't be popping up in this.
He's not playing either.
It's already spitting back. I guarantee it's going to spit back Boogie every single time. So I'm just telling you that. Boogie's
It's
projection
all
is
right with me.
way
I
too
like
good.
Boogie.
Really.
Come on.
Like I said, I haven't updated the DraftKings one yet, so that's why you're getting all these players with all the injury news. FanDuel one
Yeah,
updated.
dude. So baseball season-long drafts are tomorrow over Phenom Nation. I know I'm a part of that. I'm ready to get in there and get some done. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
All right, dude. This is who you got: Tim Frazier, Drew Holiday, Jamal Murray, LeBron
Gortat.
James. Yeah, Gortat. Yeah, but he's minimum. He's damn near
So,
minimum salary.
but this is what I would do when I got that. There's someone I look at price ranges, right? So Drew Holiday, I think I would go down to Darren Collison, 5K. I think that's a solid tournament playing tournaments, and see what I could do to pay up from Frazier. Perhaps I could pay up to Gary Harris,
Yep.
Going up against Charlotte shooting guards with no Barton. I think that's a good solid play. So yeah, that's what I'll do now. I'll take that lineup. Let's see, I could go.
I like this, man. I like the second one a lot. Marcus Smart, Jamal Murray, Jordan Crawford, LeBron James, Brandon Wright, Jokic,
Yeah, I like that.
Valanciunas, and Cousins.
I do like that a lot. Just a tool for you guys to use to help you build your lineups. Not again, it's not to build them for you, but it's to help you build them.
Exactly.
You look at them, you're like, I like that. I'm gonna go there. Just another thing to use, right?
Exactly. And my favorite thing to use it for is to find value, honestly, to see what guys come back that I wasn't looking at. Like, why is this guy coming back so much? And then I dig deeper into it.
Also, remember, 5-game slate. Definitely look at that if you've been getting burned, losing money, late scratch, all of that. It's nice that we have a nice 5-game mini slate today. It's not like a 2-game slate where the winnings are going to be spread through like 40 people. So I like it. I do. I think there's actually a lot of, I think the championship tournaments are today on DraftKings for basketball as well. So a lot of big payouts today. So if you've won tickets in there, you're throwing your buying in there or whatever. Best of luck to you guys. Hopefully we'll get some winners, some phenoms winning.
Oh yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you guys again for tuning in. Appreciate you all. Again, Kuzminskas value tonight on FanDuel, yes. DraftKings, no. He's 4,700 on DraftKings. No, thank you.
Also, lock show tonight, 6:15 Eastern. So in about 2 hours, I'll see you guys on Facebook.
Yeah.
Let's chop it up.
As always, if hit that like button again if you guys appreciated the show, enjoyed it, and as always, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so, and we will talk to you guys later. Have a good one.